Okay. Bianca, you unmute yourself. I'm gonna mute everybody.
All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our very, very special Zoom training for our Australian team tonight. We're really privileged tonight to be greeted with a couple of pretty special guests, some pretty big leaders in the company. And when I say big leaders, I mean like, only just like the #1 top leader. And then like her direct downline, so no biggie. No, but it's pretty exciting. It's almost like, we're like on a Zoom with famous people right now, because I know that one of the ladies that I'm about to introduce was in the Networking Times, I think. So being featured as a Triple Crown ambassador, it is the lovely Judy Willitson, and we know them as Mark and Judy, who are at the top of our company, Ellepreneurs, which they pretty much were started when it started, and also one of her direct downline and really good friends, Maria Fox-Giambron, who is also my direct sponsor, which is super, super exciting. And I've got both of these amazing women on all the way from the US tonight, so it's nice and early there for them. And they've just come on to really give up their time to serve us and help us with this exciting Australian launch. And to try and give us some tips and tricks on, what worked for them when they were starting out, and, how do we really start strong and build a successful business, and I guess allow us to pick their brain at the same time and ask some questions. So who do I hand over to? Can I hand over to Judy? Let's do that, because I think, we're all very, very excited to meet Judy and hear a little bit of what she's got to say.
Well, hello, Bianca. Thank you very much for that introduction, and welcome everybody. It's really nice to see your faces. Pretty excited about the Australian launch and the opportunity for you guys to really create something here that, we got to be a part of a little over 2.5 years ago. And what I see for what you guys have the ability to do in Australia is to kind of model what we've done over here in the US. And if you look at the screen right now and you see yourself, you are one of the pioneers that are going to pave the way for so many others to follow on that path to where we're all headed. And so it's pretty exciting, because Maria, she'll tell you, when we first got started here, just like any startup company, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of things that we have to go through, and we've gone through that, and now we're here. And so what you guys have is we didn't have tools like you guys have. Actually, we didn't even have as many awesome products as we have today, although, our coffee is truly amazing. And you guys, what really attracted me here, and I don't know, maybe you guys have been in the industry, maybe you're brand new, but really what attracted me here was what Ellepreneurs really stood for. And that was to elevate other people in their quest to find whatever it is they were looking for. If they want to be a part of a community, we have that here. We've grown this culture here where we literally just lock arms together and we elevate one another. And then we have this product, right, that's changing people's lives. And once the stories come rolling in, you'll see, you probably have your story. I don't know if you guys have all gotten to try the coffee yet, but if you haven't, get ready, hang tight, because when you do, you'll see exactly why we're all excited here. And then, of course, the opportunity, especially right now, the opportunity, to have a home-based business, especially with the kind of product that we have, is so sought out. When you think about how many cups of coffee are drank every day, over 450 million, and now the numbers are rising because all of us are kind of stuck at home, right? And coffee being the #2 commodity in the world. And so the opportunity that you guys here have right now to, really take this and run really hard. I talk about, when you get started, how important it is to have the goals, how important it is to have that vision and your why, and then have a 90-day run is what we call it, you know. And so when you get started, it's really seeing out 90 days of where you want to take your business. And the beautiful thing about what we have is if you want to run in this business, we'll run with you. If you want to walk, we'll walk with you. We meet you where you're at. And I think that's really important, especially in this industry. Most of us get in and we want to fit in. We don't want to get in and have to, you know, fit into somebody else's dream, somebody else's model, somebody else's, you know, what they want us to do. You know, you're here, we're here for you. And we want you guys to be very successful. So it's whatever we can do to help you attain your goal, because when you help others, everything comes back naturally, right? So really, truly excited to be launching with you guys, excited for what the future is going to hold. I mean, you're going to hear lots of amazing stories as you grow your business. And really, the other thing I like to touch on is connecting. You know, when we first started in this business, you know, a Zoom was all we really had. It was a Zoom and my husband's story that I had to hear over and over and over again for a whole year until others started having their stories and sharing it. And you guys, it wasn't anything special. Truly, it was so, so simple. And that's really the model that you want to duplicate, is the simplicity of this business and how we do it. And it's truly, it's just sharing your story, a sample of coffee, and letting them make the decision of whether they want to be a customer or if they want to join us in the business. But keeping that so simple is what's important. And the Zooms are what is really how we grew this business. We had a Zoom every single night where we had our stories that were shared. People invited other people on. You know, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know what's in the coffee. You don't have to know how the comp plan works. You don't have to know any of it. And I'll be honest with you. You know, we may be at the top of the company and we're earning an incredible income, but I can tell you, I have no idea. Maria will tell you, I have no idea what's in this coffee. It's coffee. I know I drink it, and I know it makes me feel amazing, gives me energy, clarity, focus, right? And all I know is I share that with other people and I get paid very well to do that. And you guys, that's how simple it is. You don't have to be a scientist, a doctor. You don't have to have a PH and like Maria and all her dang credits and things that she knows about. I have no idea. I just know that when you love on people and you appreciate them for who they are and make them feel special and that they matter, they will never leave you. And that's what I've always taught in network marketing. It's not about yes, we have a great product. Yes, it's about the product. It's important. And yes, the opportunity is, yes, very important as well. But more importantly, it's a culture. It's how you make someone feel. It's meeting them where they're at and truly helping them, because I know that my purpose in life is to serve other people. I'm a servant leader. And this industry gives me that ability to do that. So when I know that when I can honestly, truly build a relationship with somebody and get to know them, and then introduce to them, you know, our coffee or our opportunity, I know that, you know, I led with my heart, and that's the most important thing for me. So you guys, the opportunity here is incredible. I could tell you that training, I'm seriously going to tell you what my training really is. And I'm not saying this to be funny or anything like that, but truly is to keep it simple, 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 and sample, sample, sample. And if you can do that, that is the training. All the other things that you're going to learn are, you know, tips and tricks of how you can do that, how you can, you know, maybe share it on social media and all those other things. But truly, you guys, it's that simple. Share your story, share a cup of coffee, and then invite them to either be a customer or be a part of this business. So I'm excited to get to know each and every one of you better. We're here. I'm here to support you. And, you know, Maria and I have been friends for quite a while now. We met in another network marketing business, and I'm sure she maybe has told her story. I don't know, but I'll let her do that. And, you know, when you can serve others and build relationships, you'll be surprised at what people will do. And Maria is an incredible person with a big heart. And I'm going to tell you that you're blessed to have her as your upline support person. We all are here to work together. But when Maria says that she loves and she truly wants to help others, she really does. And so you're blessed. I absolutely love her. She's like my sister, my, I don't know, she's everything. She's a very, very, she is my best friend. So anyways, I'm going to turn it over to Maria, and thank you guys for having me. And I'll be here to answer questions and whatever else that you want me to do. Okay.
She's going to make me cry. Thank you, Judy. I love you. Hi,
You're
guys.
welcome.
I met a lot of you guys already. Hi. And for those who I haven't met or we haven't chatted with or anything, hi, welcome to the team. We're so excited to have you guys join us. You know, to piggyback off of what my bestie said, this is the easiest thing that you could do with work, if that makes sense, right? Like what we have is so simple. If you put the work into it, you could have such an amazing business, right? So when we say all the time, it's simple, 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 sample, 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 that's what it is. But you have to put work into it, and you have to make sure that you're engaged, especially during this time, right? You guys do. When I tell you, you don't know what's in store for you, you don't. I mean, you're launching a country. This is probably the biggest experience you are ever going to have, and bigger than you possibly could imagine, because like Judy said, we got most of the kinks out already. Not to say that you're not going to have kinks, but we've been through this launching in America. And we got through a lot of the issues, so we know how to deal with them head on when they come as we launch different countries. There may be an amazing opportunity that arises in Australia, and it may be ground floor in Australia and new in the industry, but keep that in mind. Like if something is just launching in Australia, doesn't mean it already set the steps in motion in different countries. So this is a big deal that we've already started this in America, and you guys are here now. And I know the company says a lot, you know, you can't go by what we have right now, right? Because we're at step 28 and 29, you guys are at step 1 and 2. So you are going to encounter some bumps in the road. It's natural, it's going to happen. So I want you to make sure that you stay focused and you stay the course, right? Because I'm going to be very transparent. And for those of you who know me and who have hopped on my calls, and Judy will tell you, I'm honest, I'm brutally honest, right? Like I don't mince words. I'm a straight shooter. I tell it like it is. You're going to get, there are going to be issues that arise, and some of the people that are on this call may not stick through it. They may be like, you know what, I'm out of here. And we've seen it happen with us in America. And I'm telling you the truth. What we've also seen, which is a testament to what Judy said about our community, is that there are people who won't withstand the leadership that they have to go through when you're starting a new country, but they come back, which is crazy. Like I've never in my life seen that in the industry before. I've seen people, you know, leave and go off to do other things, but never come back because they miss what we've had or what we built. So I just want everybody to make sure, and I'll go through some tips and tricks of what I do to get started, but I really want everybody to just put your head down and focus, because the next 90 days, it's going to blow up for you guys if you do it the right way. When we got started, so a little bit about, I'll tell you a little bit about me before I go into like the tips and the tricks, but I've been in the industry for about 19 years, but not full time. I always worked in corporate America. I always had a very high visibility job, and no matter what I made in my side gig, it never was enough to keep me home with my kids until this came along. And this for me, and Judy will tell you, I didn't want to do it as a business because my husband was sick. I had a full-time job. My full-time job also consisted of really being on call when I was home. I had 3 young kids. I was the president of the PTA. I had a lot going on. And I say that not to, you know, to boast like, oh, well, I had it all going, you know, so much going on and I was able to do it. But I want people to understand that if something's very important to you, you find a way to do it, right? So that's why a lot of times I tell people, with me, I don't give myself any excuses. You know, I won't limit myself and say, well, this is going on, I can't do that, or that's going on, I can't do it. And I do a lot of mindset training and a lot of personal development. And I like to instill that in our team because I think it's really important, because you have to get your mind right and in a positive direction in order to really make changes, like the positive changes in your life. Because once that happens, everything else falls into place. I was the typical New Yorker, if you can't tell. Everything was, negative, and I was always pissed off and aggravated, and like we were working all the time, and all we did was work to survive, and it wasn't fun. And I always used to pray that there was a better way. And around the same time it was a little bit before, but around the same time that Judy introduced us to this, and she really just introduced us to a stock opportunity, not even a business. None of us really really had any intention of doing this as a business. But I really started working on my mindset, because, and I don't want to get like all doom and gloom, but what really put it into perspective for us was, like I said, we were very in the negative mindset, and my husband had cancer, and we would go into Sloan Kettering, which is a cancer hospital, and there would be children dying, right? Lots and lots and lots of them. And one time I remember my husband came out and he said, "What are you crying for? I'm going to be okay." Because I was sobbing. And I said, "It's not you." And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "I just counted 55 children that were here for treatment." I said, "That's not okay." And it makes you put it into perspective, because he was fine, and he is fine. And a lot of those kids, I'm sure, didn't make it. You know what I mean? So like, we are blessed with what we have, no matter what the circumstance is, no matter how tough things get with the business or in life or being in quarantine. If you have your head in the right sense, right, then everything else falls into place. It really does. So that's why I do a lot of mindset training. So when and I do that on our team calls. When Judy introduced us to this, again, we were not interested in doing this as a business. But as we started noticing a difference with us and our stress levels and our focus at the time, because I, by way of side business, I would train people to help their health through nutrition, right? And I would give them a path on how to get healthy again. And when my husband got sick, I couldn't focus on that because we were so all over the place with stress. So I noticed right away that we were able to sit down literally after we took a cup, and a few hours later, really by the next morning, the both of us were like, wow, this stuff is really working. So we started sharing it with other people, and they were having amazing results. And I remember after a couple of months, Judy knew the results that we were having, but I had called her, and she's like, "Are you ready to go? Are we going to do this as a business?" And I'm like, "No, I can't." I was scared. I was embarrassed because my husband was sick and I didn't want to start something new. But after a little bit, my husband and Judy kept on saying, "Let's do this. Let's do this." And after a while, my husband was like, "You know what? Without even really pushing this, right? With just handing out some samples and getting these testimonies from people," and I'll share a couple of them with you guys, but in getting the testimonies from people, he said, "Maria, we are doing ourselves and everybody else a disservice by not going full force with this, because this is what we've been praying for. And we have to give it a shot. Who cares what other people think, right? If you've been in another company, if you've maybe not had success, if you've bounced before, or have done different things, like, give it a shot, give it a real good shot." He was telling me, because this is, this could really be life-changing for us. So we did. And I like to say, really, the rest is history. Like, we built an amazing business. We've partnered with so many amazing people. Our life has been significantly changed. We've changed the lives of so many different people. And when I tell people that your life could be changed, it's in a million different ways. And every single day, like Judy said, we do well, like, we make good money, but it's not about that anymore. And you're going to see that too, especially launching in a new country. Like, you have the ability to be like, the sky's the limit, but it's not about that anymore, because we get up every day with a purpose to go out and help people, right? Like, I don't love, and Judy laughs at me because, we've had some people, we've known some people who are not exactly the best role models, or they don't do the best things, but they call themselves servant leaders. I love, like, Judy is the epitome of a servant leader, right? We do things not because we want to get something back, right? But because we truly want to help. And that's what happens here, because you're going to start to see as you go along. And as you get these testimonies, you'll get somebody that'll call you and say, oh my God, I just feel so much better, or I'm not in debt anymore. You're going to get those, and those are awesome. Or that, they're possibly working with their doctor to come off of medication, or they haven't felt better. They feel better than they've ever felt, or their marriage is back together. They're like, it's not just one thing, right? It's not like it's a weight loss and this is what you're going to get. And you got people calling you saying, hey, I lost 30 pounds. Like, it is legitimate life-changing testimonies that people are going to give you, and that's what's going to fuel you to keep you going every single day, because every day it's new for us, right? And Judy could attest to this. Like, every single day we get these stories that are life-changing for people. So it really is a beautiful place to be. Judy, when we started this, Judy wanted to create something that had a different feel to it, right? Because we've been in companies before where the top is not exactly helpful per se, or not approachable. And you'll never get that here. You'll never get that with Judy. You'll never get that with me, and Jude, like, jump in. Like, this is like, I want this to be a conversation.
I think that's important. I think there's, many of you have probably been in other companies, I would assume, right? Bianca, I know you probably have as well. And when you're, it starts at the top. And so when you have a company that can hold integrity, because I think that's really important, integrity and honesty and veracity, true veracity. And so when it starts there and then trickles down into the leaders, if you have people that follow that and it starts from the top and trickles down in, then you're going to have a really good solid business, because and a team of people that are going to hopefully follow in the same path as you are. But so many times, I've been in this industry for almost 30 years, you guys. I've been in many different companies, been very successful, and I can tell you that up until this company, and I mean it, I truly am telling you guys the truth here, I have never had an upline, ever. And I'm serious. Someone who sponsored me just said, here you go, good luck. Never called me, never thanked me, never gave me anything. And I don't give to get back. I don't do that. But I made an oath that I would never be that person. And so that's why the culture and community is so important here. And that's why, our company is truly very successful because of that reason. So
and
so important.
And she's right, because I've been in a bunch of different companies too. And I've never, like, I'm blessed to have her as my best friend and my sponsor, but you don't always get that, right? And we wanted to create something that was duplicatable. We within the company, so that it's easy to help you. But we reach down into the teams. Like, you'll never get the top leader in any company hopping on a Zoom, getting up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to hop on a Zoom, no matter what country they're. You just don't. I mean, I'll give you an example. At the last convention, not the online one, I had said to Judy, I said, could you do me a favor? I said, well, she invited everybody up for a party for Mark's birthday. And she's like, bring everybody up. And, a few people came up, and a few people on our team came up and met with them. And then the next night, we all went up to her room at about 10 or 11 o'clock, and we sat in her suite, right? What were there, like 30 of us, Jude?
Yeah.
And it was like, 5, 7, 10 levels below me. So, like, really in her organization. And we talked and we cried. And what the point that I'm trying to make is that when we left the next day, and even after the convention, people were messaging me saying, I've never had that before. I've never been able to sit and talk to a top leader or cry or with them, or, like, it was really touching, because you get to hear everybody's story. So it is significantly different here. I always like to say that we have a trifecta, and that's why we really have had so much success, because we have products that are instant impact. Most people, especially if somebody is deficient in any one of the 4 happy hormones. And I'll do a training for you guys on the products and how to talk about them in layman's terms, not scientific-y, right? So, because you don't want to have to know anything about them. Like Judy's not joking when we grew the business saying, this is a cup of coffee, try it. You know, you're going to feel great. I feel great. And that's it. You don't have to have any background. But what you do in order to be the expert, you lead them to somebody else, right? You don't ever have to be an expert. You make it very simple. That's why you want it to be duplicatable. You want people to say, you know what? I could do that. You know what I mean? I could just connect, and we do. And I mean, I could tell you, I sit on calls all day long, especially now that we're in the house. I sit on calls all day long and just do, you know, Zooms with teams and opportunity Zooms with people, because they make me be the expert. This way it takes the onus off of them. So it
Maria, I was going to ask you, because this is my point. Oops, I'm knocking things over. So this is something I was going to actually bring up, because obviously I think the biggest thing for people starting with a new company or a new product, especially when we've never done this before, like I'm a health and PE teacher, so I kind of got like some idea of understanding, but it's still hard. And so I think that might be something, correct me if I'm wrong guys, it's maybe a little bit daunting when starting a conversation. Yeah, we're excited, but as soon as they start asking questions that we don't really know the answer to, it's kind of like, what do I do? So what I was gonna say is, like, is it safe to say that, you know, the steps to make them so simple is obviously not to be the expert, but either do one of a couple of options. So one might be, you know, take a screenshot of the conversation and send it to myself or you or in our group chat, so that you can then best write a reply for them, or connect them directly in a 3-way chat if they can't.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what we do. A lot of times I'll have people, it may be, and you and I, Bianca, have to figure out something that's going to move. And the only reason why I say that is because in the States, yeah, people will text me and say, I'm throwing you in a 3-way chat, and I get on the chat. I don't want your people in the middle of the night, if I'm sleeping and I don't hear it, to feel like they're being pushed off. So we have to figure out a way to do that efficiently with giving quick results, right? With giving quick answers so they have it. Because I understand you're growing a business, you need your answers right away. So you and I together offline, we have to streamline that to figure out how we could do that efficiently. But yeah, you want to, and I know you saw in the team page that I asked people for opposition questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write down and give rebuttals for any kind of opposition that anybody has ever encountered, right? Like, it's too much money, which it's not, but it's too much money.
I think that's so important. I think it's so good to address that first with somebody, because it's like, if you already know what they're about to say and you say it before they say it, not only are you being transparent, but you're also answering the question and relieving their mind, so that then you can keep going. So I think that's great.
I mean, I'm big on, you know, when people say to me, oh, you're such a good salesman. I honestly don't feel like I'm a salesperson. I mean, the reality is that everybody in life, if you have kids and you're a salesperson, you're trying to convince your kids to eat vegetables, or you're trying to convince your kids to brush their teeth. You have to sell everything, right? That's the reality. But I never feel like I'm a salesperson in this, because I'm so passionate about it, right? Because I love everything about it. And if you get rid of any kind of opposition in your head, so you go through any kind of opposition that somebody could give you and you have a rebuttal for it, it takes the ickiness out of it, and you really don't feel like you're selling, right? Because you're passionate about it. You know that there's no ickiness, you know? So I'll give you guys, you know, I'm still putting it together, because sometimes people, they're slow about giving me their questions, but I'll give you any kind of opposition that we've had. And we will, you know, I'll put it into a spreadsheet so that you guys know. But I always tell people in the sales process, you want to know your target audience. This is simple, right? You shouldn't feel apprehensive about talking to people, because it's a freaking cup of coffee, right? Everybody drinks coffee. If you have somebody that's stressed out, you see a mom that's stressed out from her kids, it's an easy conversation to have. I'd be like, girl, listen, I got something for you. Like these capsules, where is it? You know, these capsules, And this coffee is going to help you not want to murder your child, right? Like I make it funny. I interject it into conversations wherever I am. You know, you could talk about the bringing down the stress levels. You could talk about the focus. You could talk about the anxiety. Even if there's nothing to talk about, it's coffee. If you hear somebody at a grocery store or a supermarket say, "Oh God, I can't wait to get off of work. You know, I can't wait to have my cup of coffee." I would offer them a cup of coffee and say, "Oh, it's on me. You're doing such a great job today. It's on me." Right? And that's important because you have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable knowing your audience, and it literally only takes 2 seconds to figure out who your audience is. And you know, I could see somebody, I could see a mom stressed over her kid and know what I'm going to talk about, and I know what I'm going to target the conversation to be about. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be you know, like all like, you know, mind blowing or anything. But you have to get samples out. Like that is 100%, you know, it's so important to be able to sample people. That's how we grew this business. And God bless you guys for having the sticks now. Like you don't know how lucky you are. We were like drug dealers. I'm not even joking. We would take the tubs of coffee and we would stick them in, right, Jude? And we would stick in little Ziploc bags. And there was a time when it would be 6 weeks there. I mean, people hated us, right? People were pissed. We're selling happiness and people are like, "I can't get my coffee." And I'm going to tell you, I'm not even joking. During that time period, because we had a 6-week delay of getting product out because we didn't have it, people would leave us for the business. They'd be like, "I can't," and this is what I mean. People were like, "I can't handle this. I can't handle the stress." We never lost customers, right? The customers would be pissed, but they wanted their happy coffee. It was work. They knew it was working. They wanted it. But we would take little Ziploc bags and we would fill them up. I would get people that would say, "You got to leave it in your mailbox." My mailman must have thought that what the hell was going on, because I would leave little baggies of powder in my mailbox and people would leave me money. Like it was insane. Or I would drive, I'm not joking, like this is not even a joke, it's serious. You guys are so lucky.
How about meeting people in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Honestly, we did whatever we could do. I had somebody, this is how powerful the coffee is, really. I had somebody that drove. We actually met them on Christmas Day. I had a call from one of Brittany's downline somewhere, on Tara's team, I think. And this woman was in dire straits, need of this coffee. So it was a 4-hour drive, and on Christmas Day. And I said, "Hey, look, we'll meet you halfway and get this coffee to you." And that's how powerful the product is. But I want to add into what you were talking about, Maria, about, you know, when you're sharing this with somebody, I think of it in a different way. I think of it even more simplistically because, you know, Maria is definitely far more knowledgeable than I am when it comes to nutrition.
Judy says, "You don't need all that mindset stuff. Just do it."
It is just like, yeah, I'm buzzing. It's awesome. Look at me. Yeah.
and so I really look at it this way, is like, you know, when I'm talking with somebody and they want to know what I do, I use that I share happiness. That's what I say. And that really opens the conversation up in so many different levels of what they're thinking in their mind. Is like, what the heck is that? What do you mean you share happiness?
And she's right, because
happy.
Yep. And she's 100% right, because anytime I say that, because I do too, like a lot of times if somebody asks me what I do, I say I sell happiness, right? That's what I say. There has never been a time that, and I know she could say the same thing, that people will not ask you, "How do you do that? Why do you do that?" Like,
right.
Because that's something that's going to pique a conversation.
Right. And then when you go into a conversation, you know, if somebody says, "Well, what do you mean you share happiness?" You know, and then I'll ask a question because, and I usually ask questions that are open-ended so that they, you know, I have something to fall back on. I don't ever ask yes or no, because where can I go with somebody if they say no? I don't have anywhere to go with that. And so I like to ask questions. Well, you know, what areas in your life are you lacking in happiness, right? Oh my God. So they're going to tell me something. I'm not going to say, oh, are you unhappy in your marriage? Are you unhappy with your job? Are you unhappy? You know, I want them to tell me, because then that opens up the door for so many opportunities for me to say, if they say, well, you know, I'm not happy in my life. Well, why is that? What is it? Well, I'm overweight, I'm depressed, whatever it might be. Now I can share with them the product, right? So if they're unhappy in their job, right, and they're lacking money, I can share the opportunity.
Yeah.
If they're lacking with relationships, friendships, I can share the community and culture. So you see where I'm going with that? There's so much more opportunity. If I lead in with just the product, and they don't want it, I have nowhere to go, right? So if I start from community, culture to opportunity to product, I have 3 different ways that I can introduce what I have available for them. So keep that in mind. So I never, and I just say this because unless they come to me and say, hey, what's this happy coffee you're talking about? Or, you know, what's the product that you sell? I'm going to go right to it. But if not, I'm going to lead in first with, how would you like to be a part of a mission where we actually help people, we share happiness, right? So you're not selling something to them, you're actually asking to be a part of something that we are literally doing, which is sharing happiness. In what way? I don't know. What way works for you? Community,
Right.
culture, product, opportunity, which way works for you? So when you keep your mind open to that, you're going to be surprised at how many more people, because I'm going to tell you 80% of the population in our industry, they're the ones who make up. God bless every single one of them. But most of them are here because they want to be a part of something. They want to feel special. They want to feel like they matter and that they can make a difference, whether it's one customer or, you know, making $100. Yeah. So, you know, that's 80% of our population.
Yep.
And Judy, would it be safe to say that as leaders, obviously in the Australian team, and wanting to kind of, I guess, make people comfortable in kind of disclosing with us what they're not happy about, because a lot of people are quite reserved and they pretend everything's okay. You're like, hey, how you going? You're like, yeah, I'm great, thanks, how are you? But really they're not great, because every single person in the world can tell you something right now in their life that they're not happy with, that they want to fix, whether it's they want more money, more time, more love, more friendship, whatever. And so I find this is just me. I've always been like this my whole life. But I'm very open, it's probably too open and honest sometimes. But I guess, like, in saying that, in my own personal journey since I started in the industry, I am really vulnerable, like publicly on my Facebook page. So I might do a live video about a pain that was in my life or something that I overcame. So it's having to kind of dig deep and own up to the fact that I wasn't always this bubbly, happy person that you see on Facebook, that a lot of people think, like I had anxiety, or I used to party a lot, or whatever. And so in being vulnerable, I've found it has then made people like want to message me and comment and say, oh my God, I feel the same, because they never thought that. And so there's that common kind of ground.
Bianca, that is really how we got started in the business too. Like with the sampling on a social media aspect, we really did attraction marketing, not even realizing that it was attraction marketing. Then, you know, we had the vulnerable stories, and we had just not like being salesy, being authentic and real, because when people are authentic and real, other people gravitate towards them. So yes, 100%. Like, I do recommend doing, you know, being transparent, being very real and raw, because people want to see that. Like, especially if you're saying that the people in your country aren't like that, there's always, you know, that you want people to relate to you, right? Do you guys know the story about Tom? Right? Did you guys, were you guys on any of the calls? So,
I think so.
I think you two were on. But so Tom, and I say this not to interrupt Bianca, but I want people to understand the capacity in what we have and how you could help people, right? And how, especially being real and raw and transparent, makes a difference in people's lives. So, I got a message from somebody who, in a Facebook group, I was going on a Disney cruise. And just keep in mind, guys, I'm telling somebody else's story, right? And you're going to know your own stories. But if you don't have your own stories, feel free to share other people's stories until you get your own stories, right? Because as we go along, I'm going to share your stories too, right? If it fits into who I'm trying to attract. But in any event, this woman messaged me and she said to me, can I try your coffee? I think I've been following you. She says, I think our kids go to the same cheer gym. So I said, yeah, they did. I never met her. They lived in my town. I never met them. I dropped off coffee the next day. I didn't hear from them. A couple of days goes by and I messaged her and I said, how'd you do with the coffee? And she says, well, my husband's a self-proclaimed coffee connoisseur. Like, he grinds his own beans. He's really serious about his coffee. She said, instant coffee is not for him. I said, okay, that's their choice. Now, I could tell you guys a rebuttal to that right off the bat is we don't sell gourmet coffee. We sell a supplement that provides benefit. And that's the difference, right? So we have something that provides a benefit. A gourmet cup of coffee does not provide a benefit, right? So that's a rebuttal right there. But in any event, I let them go. I know what we have. I'm comfortable with letting people go. And I moved on. But 3 weeks later, we get on a cruise. And as fate would have it, Tom and his family, Karen and Tom and their family, sat with us on the cruise. And they were our dinner mates for the entire week. So the first night, my husband went to go put our coffee in his espresso. And Tom said, oh, you could put it in espresso? And I said, yeah, I don't recommend it at first. I want you to get a clean, the health coach in me. I want you to get a clean feeling. And he said, can I try it? So I dosed him up, right? I gave him Xantho. I gave him coffee. And he says, oh, this is pretty good. The next day, I dosed him up again. By the end of the week, he decided that he wanted to try the product. So he went home and he ordered. Within 2.5 months, he had lost 40 pounds. Over the course of a year, he wound up losing 117 pounds. That is not the story. But he started sharing it with people. He started selling it. So I would get him on opportunity Zooms that we were doing. And he would always share his story about really, the weight loss. Until one day he gets on and he starts telling everybody his story. And he says, well, what Maria doesn't know is when I met her on the boat that night, that morning I got on early and I went to the back of the boat to see where I was going to jump that night. He had planned to commit suicide and jump off the boat that night after he put his daughter to sleep. And we gave him the products. And again, this is scientific-y, but it's basic science. If you are depleted in any of these 4 happy hormones and you get hit with this, a lot of times people could feel it relatively quickly. And thank God Tom felt it quickly and he felt good enough, because if you're happy, you're not going to commit suicide. There's nobody who's happy who commits suicide. So he was going to jump off the boat that night. He felt good enough not to do it. Then he said, well, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow night. It must have been a farce. And then tomorrow night came and he felt good again. And he went through the whole week and said, you know what? There's something to this. Like, this is insane. This really makes a difference. So to say that being transparent, me talking to him about it, right? And then him talking to people about it, it makes a difference in people's lives, because people typically, like Bianca said, don't go around and say, I'm not happy, or I'm depressed, or I have anxiety. Like, people just don't do that. So the more stories you share of helping people, or even the more people you sample out just to say, try it. I don't know what it does. It just makes me feel good. I just feel good when I drink the coffee and I take the capsule. I feel good, try it. You don't know how you're helping people. Like, that's what fuels us, right? Because you get, like, I just want to instill in, you don't know how you're going to change people's lives with this. It will be changed in one way, shape, or form. You just don't know how. So just keep on going out and sharing it.
And that story is amazing. Like, that's a story that even I find I'm even telling people now, because, like, you don't have to have your own product story, as Maria said. And we're not here to convince anyone, but speaking about samples, ladies, if I can just ask you now, obviously, you've got to drop some news soon, but anyway, I'll leave that. But like, so with us in starting strong, obviously it's super important in starting strong. Like that is probably the main thing that I'm really wanting to try and focus on with my team at the moment, because when you can start strong and build that momentum, it sets yourself up for later. The biggest thing I found, when I started, because I just thought, I'm sweet, I can sell, shampoo to a bald guy. And because it's not selling, it's like people knew that I just talk a lot, not shit, but you know what I mean? Like, that's B, she'll say anything. And I struggled a lot because I was like, I've got no customers. And I found I was also comparing a lot, which is another thing I wanted to bring up, because we're quite competitive people, especially everyone that's on right now. And I found it really hard to not compare to the girl that I'd brought on under me. She had like 20 customers and I was struggling. I just had family, and it really made me feel like I wasn't cut out for this, that I wasn't doing a good job, because I was putting in so much work and I was doing all the right things, but I didn't realize that it was more like being consistent every day eventually will pay off. It's not like, oh, but I'm messaging all these people now, like, why don't I have sales? And I was getting frustrated with that, which is again like a mindset thing. So I guess just touching on that in terms of how important it is with the mindset thing, but in the first, kind of like month or two, to understand that the feelings of failure and the negative Nancy in your head that tells you that you're not good at this or whatever is going to appear more than once, but to be able to deal with it.
Never mind just in the beginning, we still have it, right? It's not
like, it's all the time, right? It's just how you deal with it and keep going, right? Because I had a moment in my first 40 days, like right when I was about to, I could either make a promotion and I was going to quit, because I was so far away from this promotion and I wanted it so bad, and I felt like I'd let myself down, and really I could have just lowered my own goalpost, but I didn't see it that way, and I was going to quit, and I ended up, the mindset talked to myself, reached out to my upline and was able to kind of understand that it was a normal feeling. So I think the biggest thing for me with these guys is like, that was so new to me. Like I did not expect to feel that, because I was on a high and I was like, I love this. And then I was just like, like I expected it to be like a lottery ticket almost. And I thought I'm naturally good at most things. I thought I was going to be good at that, and I sucked and it was hard. So I guess, like, what advice would you give these guys in those moments where they might feel like, quitting or giving up, and how important it is to push through that, and that the other side of that is, I guess, where they're going to
I'll touch really quick on that, because I think, a lot of people have this perception, right? Because that's a really good point that you bring up, Bianca, because a lot of people have perception, right? So like in my situation, let's just use me as an example, right? That I don't have those challenges, right? I don't have those emotions. I don't have any of that because I'm so-called at the top, right? That's not true. I struggle with those things all the time too. And that's why I was going to go back into when we talked about like the calls and the Zooms and things like that. So I kind of call it that welcome, that personal call, that when you sign somebody up, when you sponsor somebody, it is your obligation to help and mold them and coach them and teach them, because that is truly your team. That person you sponsored is your team. And anybody beyond that is their team and their team and their team. And so what I really like to do in that personal one-on-one call is to really delve in and, get to know them better, get to know what their goals are, and tell them exactly what you're talking about, is that, we're going to have those days where you're going to have a roller coaster. You're going to be up one day and down one day. And so I always ask permission. I would say to you, Bianca, do I have your permission that when you're having one of those moments where you don't want to do this business anymore, or you want to quit, or you don't feel worthy, or, you're not good enough, or whatever, you compare yourself to somebody because maybe you don't have 10 customers and she does, and how come she's got them and I don't, and, all these things, these emotions that we go through, I'm going to say, Bianca, do I have your permission that when that happens, that you're going to promise me that when you call me, or if I see this happening, I'm going to call you and I'm going to call you out on it. I'm going to say, hey, look, we talked in the beginning and we told each other, we made an oath with each other that if that was to happen, that we would be able to be open with each other and share our true feelings, because you're here for a reason and I'm here to help you. And so my promise is to you is when you have those moments, we're going to get through this together. We're going to fight through this because you have greatness within you. I know what you're capable of, but we all have those moments where we feel like we're not, right? And so that's why I talk about when we can lean on each other and that we can help each other through those moments. I call Maria, trust me, I have my days where I might get somebody who calls me and says, I didn't get my product and it didn't ship to me and this company sucks and, you know, all these things. And you're like, oh, you know what I mean? And so I still get all those, and I'll call Maria, and generally I always say never go down, but Maria is not a down to me. She's my friend. She's my, you know, I learn from her all the time. So you never go down to your downline. You always go up. But that being said, I think
there's nobody up above Judy. That's why.
Poor Maria, she gets to get all my crap. Anyway, so it's just, I think that is where you really build that trust in the beginning, is when you can be vulnerable. Because I can tell you that I'm not perfect. And I'm never going to be perfect. I'm going to have those moments too. We're going to be able to go through those together. Mm-hmm. And that's where hopefully that, you know, that when you do that, that guys are going to be able to get through this together, but never compare yourself. We're all equal here. We can all be in the same position if we want it. You just have to go out there and get it. And when you're at that moment where you were, Bianca, where you thought, oh my God, you know, you didn't feel worthy, whatever, and you went and called your upline and you were able to get through it. That's the moment where most of us quit. That's the moment where that next person that's coming into your business is the person that's going to whoosh, take it to the next level.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's when you are on the verge of quitting, if you just push through, that's where success, massive success, always happens. If you just push through,
right.
It always happens that way.
Right, and you guys, you got to be willing to do what most people aren't, because you guys looking right here, right now. You're the pioneers. You're the ones that are going to pave the way for everybody else's to come in if you don't quit.
Yeah.
If you're able to get through those times, those hard times.
And you wouldn't be a leader.
And if we do this comfortably, like if we just like, oh, but it's going to cost this much money and I don't have that much, it's going to make me feel really uncomfortable, like just splitting with that much, like nothing changes if you're just comfortable all the time. So This is what I was telling my students today. Like once you are feeling really uncomfortable, it's because
you're growing.
About to happen, and I think that with us in this position now, like if it's not going to be an easy ride, because we're going to have our story to tell everyone later, and it's not going to be like, oh yeah, we just cruised on through, it was easy, we just got handed a lottery ticket and boom, we're millionaires. It doesn't work like that. So I guess for us, that's kind of really important to know. It is going to get uncomfortable, girls. Like it is.
I mean, it is, and it still happens to us on a daily, like not on a daily basis, but we still have our doubts, and we still are like, what the hell is going on sometimes? So you have to know it's natural. It's going to be natural, no matter what level you're at.
Human nature. I mean, you guys, here's the thing too, is, when you can put your head down, and you can focus on, whatever it is, the goal that you set, whatever it is that you want to attain. But when you can really put your head down and focus on that, I say make a mess and clean it up along the way, right? But there were times where, you guys, I sat in my pajamas, and I'm not kidding you, for 8 days where I didn't shower. But that's going above and beyond, because I set my focus on that this is what I was going to do no matter what. So if it meant sitting in my pajamas and smelling like crap for 8 days, I was going to do it. And I'm serious about that.
Yep.
So that's why I say.
When we say that we have a 90-day run, we run, like I literally, and she could tell you, she's doing the same thing. We are on calls all day long. I was on a call the other day, and I looked at, as I'm talking to this guy, I looked at myself, in the camera, and I was like, oh my God, like I cannot even believe that I'm on a call like this. And I said to the guy, I'm so sorry. I said, I've been on call since 6 o'clock this morning. I apologize. And he laughed because he was probably saying, this girl is such a freaking mess. Like, but we sit, we go, yeah, it's real. It's real life. We are running. We right now, even in America, the leaders said, we are going to do a 90-day run. We have new coffee. We have new countries. This is what we're doing. We are running. So we sit down and we focus and we run. And I'm going to tell you guys something. And I'm not trying to be an ass, but again, this is 100% in full transparency. We just opened up your country, or we're in the process of opening your country. If you don't do it, somebody else will, right? So either you get the business and go out there and jump out of your comfort zone and run like crazy, or somebody else is gonna do it and take your business, because we've seen it happen here. I've seen too many people join us and say, in the beginning, and say, oh, I'm gonna just see how it goes. And then they get pissed because all of their friends that they didn't talk to wound up enrolling underneath somebody else, right? Because they didn't go out and talk about it. So, you know, it really is beneficial for you guys to get out there now and let the world know about what you're doing. What I found, and Judy and I are going to make a couple of announcements. We'll answer questions too, but we're going to make a couple of announcements. But what I found fascinating on the call the other night was, which I knew, but like just to hear it again, Australia is the gateway, right, to Asia, and to, like, once we open up in Asia, forget about it. Like, this is like all what we have has been nothing yet compared to once we open up in Asia. And you guys are the gateway to that. Like, I would be making connections like crazy. I would be, and you don't know who you're making connections with if they have connections in different places. So I would be out there building this 90 days, run. When we got started, I was in, you know, I told you guys I was working in corporate America, and I had a job where it was a very visible position. I had to be in front of my executive and all the executives all the time. I would literally see a message come through. I would tell my boss, I gotta run to the bathroom. And I would go in the bathroom and I would answer my phone or message or text to answer people back, because I knew that I needed to grow this business. I knew that I couldn't wait. Like, I had to do this now. That's how I grew the business. Like, I made time no matter what I was doing. And I suggest, if you really want to run and you really want to get to where we are, you do the same thing, because it will be life-changing for you if you put the work into it.
Right.
Maria and Judy, I'm so obviously your time is precious, so I'm really conscious of that as well.
No, you're fine.
I'm good.
Awesome. We're good.
I was gonna say, do you guys have kind of like a little message that you tend to use in order, like, to kind of send out to people about the opportunity that you could share in our group chat, or something that works for you? Like, do you, you know, is your approach kind of simple? I know obviously it's going to be different for different, you know, different approaches or situations, but I think that could maybe help some people in the team with feeling confident in approaching someone, knowing it's come like that. Oh, but you guys use that, so let's just try it. It's just the confidence in, I guess, how things are worded. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that's a good question. And I think, like you said, it's so different with everybody, right? And so the personalities of, I don't know, you guys, if you know the color thing, you know, the blue, the yellow, the green, and the red of colors of the personalities of people. A green is like Maria, somebody who has to know everything, the ingredients, how it works, and, you know, when it works and how many milligrams and all that good stuff, right? I'm a blue. I'm like, let's party.
Like, this is the party. Who cares?
Fun. If it ain't fun, I'm not doing it. Right?
She's like, let's go to jail for it. I don't care. Let's just do it.
Right. And then there's the red personality who's like, okay, how much money are you making? Because all I want to do is want to make money. Let's go. Just, you know, don't fluff me. Don't give me any of that crap. Let's just do it. Right. And then you got the yellow. Oh gosh, this community and culture of people is so beautiful. And I'm not making fun of that, you guys. I'm just, you know, I'm being a little, as you get to know me, you'll know that I'm quite funny. Maria may not think so, but anyways, I think I am. But so you have those different personalities, right? So a red person, if I know that that person is all about making money, then I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that our company is in the top 48. I'm gonna give them all the information of the success that our company's having. If it's the yellow, I'm gonna talk about the community and culture, right? That, oh, you're gonna love it here because everybody's all about loving on each other and helping each other. We lock arms together, right? A green is, okay, you wanna know all the information. I'm gonna give them every pamphlet, every freaking website and everything they need to know about it. And then a blue, I'm going to talk about travel and how much fun we have and all the parties we go to and the conventions and how we all get together and we just party all night long, right? So again, that's really important to know. If you can really get to know that person and what their personality is, then you can lead in that. So I think that's really, really important. So Bianca, it's so different with every person. That's why I say, that's why
Judy, I was just, that's awesome that you say that, because, that girls, that survey that I was talking to you about, I just created a 10-question survey, which is primarily intended for market research for us, but it's not anonymous. So they do give their information, and it asks them questions about their aspirations, fears, goals, daily frustrations, daily struggles, all those sorts of things. So you're starting to understand a bit more about that person, what drives them. Is it money, happiness, love, whatever? And then at the end of it, they give us their details, and in exchange for them helping us with our market research, we send them a 2-day experience with the free samples. So we're kind of putting some value onto the samples rather than just giving them out for free like they're lollies and they're worth nothing. And then that way as well, when we follow up, we kind of know what approach to follow up with, because we're like, oh, hey, I noticed that you were saying that, one of your struggles is, you're tired all the time. I was just wondering, how did that coffee go for you? And so, guys, that's exactly what Judy's saying. Those 10 questions right there, and you just file all of that in your contacts. Like, I think that's an awesome background to know about someone in order to know kind of which way to approach if they are still in your follow-up list.
Right. And here's another tip I'll tell you about social media. And I'll tell you what, I am not the social media person, but I'm learning a lot of different things. And if you're social media, like looking at someone's page, you're looking for what it is that attracts them, right? So if they're showing you vacations and all those things, you're not going to message them, like in the messenger. So when you talk about what would you say? Like, if I'm going to go to your page, Bianca, I'm going to look, and if I see that you love to go out and party and travel and eat out at dinner, I'm going to approach you with a way of saying, hey, I see that you love to travel. I'd love to chat with you sometime about the places you've been, right? So I'm building a relationship with you. I'm not just coming in and saying, hey, I have a product, I have coffee. You're going to be like, no. If you came to me and said, that you have the ingredients and the scientists, and I'm going to say, okay, forget it. This is not fun. So that's why I say approaching somebody in a way that reflects who they are. They're going to respond to you better if you do it that way versus, going against totally.
And I could do a training with you guys on that, because even when I tell you that in 2 seconds, if even not even having a conversation, if I see somebody, I know just looking at them, because we all fall into these categories, right? And it doesn't have to be specific red or specific blue or specific, you know what I mean? Like with me, I'm a red and a green. Like, I want to have massive success, but I also want to have all the details, right? So you could be a bit of a both. I could do a training with you guys on that, so that when you're talking to somebody or you're looking at their profile, you could see that. Like, you'll know, once you get comfortable with that, you'll know who you're approaching. And it just, it's natural. It's very natural. I did want to mention, though, that is what I did, or what I've been doing is, I have a lot of different contacts in different places. And so for Australia, for instance, I know a lot of network marketers in Australia, but a lot of them have success in whatever they're doing. And I would never want to be a jerk and be like, you need to come to my company. So what I did was I reached out to a lot of them and said, hey, I know you guys are having massive success, would not want to infringe on that at all. However, if you have people that are interested in launching in Australia, right? Or you know people that are interested in launching in Australia, I will give you a referral bonus for each person you lead, that enrolls with me. Now, I do that because I can financially, I can give people a referral bonus, and they're thinking of it as, what is she going to give me? Is she going to give me cash, or, whatever, and it would be cash. And then they, maybe they would lead me. And I've had a couple of contacts that way. I'm not giving them the cash unless they actually join, but it's worth having a conversation with people, right? It's worth putting it out there so that maybe they start thinking in their head, this is a brand new opportunity in a new country for us, right? It's a new opportunity in your country. It's going to be very appealing to a lot of people. So I, especially with what's going on in this world, we sell happiness, right? We have products that reduce stress. We have products that help to boost your immune system, and you could work from home. There's no better opportunity out there right now, right? There really isn't one, because everything that people need right now, we could appeal to them. So I would just be reaching out to people saying, hey, we have a new business opportunity. We launched, it's already successful in the United States, right? And you want to make people know that, because a lot of time ground floor companies, they go out of business relatively quickly. And you want them to know that this has already been an established, it's an established business.
I would say reach out to your warm market first, right? If you can, is make your list in your warm market. And then the other thing that I want to add to that real quick, Bianca, is that, I like to ask my warm market if they would be, give me 5 or 10 referrals. And I would be more than glad to send, like you say, that little mailer that you do. I offer any of my customers or anybody, if you refer 5 to 10 people for me, I'll give you a free tub of coffee.
Yeah, 100%. That's an awesome idea. Ladies, you've been absolutely amazing. Do you mind if we'll wrap it up, because I know that it's pushing on 10:30 here, but and obviously I'm just conscious of the time for everybody, and I just am so grateful to have all of you guys on. These guys here are pretty much the ones that are consistently on, the ones that are, really, really keen to smash this out. And I guess in saying that as well, when you're talking about like sharing your story, this is one thing I learned. If you guys don't believe yourself in any aspect, like if you're there going, oh, it's too expensive, like if you in your mind think that these products are too expensive, then you're not going to be able to say to somebody else that they're not, because you don't believe it, and they'll know that. People get it. So I guess it's the same with the business. Like, you got to really believe it, and in order to believe and boost your belief, then you got to be consistent and be, contributing or learning every day, or doing, just something every day, which we'll go through the DMO and all that again soon. But I guess just to wrap it up, in terms of for us right now, starting strong, and if these are my runners, what advice would you give in terms of really just smashing out this month and starting their business off strong, and then starting that 90 days that's helped you guys with build success in your business?
Well, you want to go first?
Yep, go ahead.
Well, okay. So, really for me, it's first, what is your goal? Where do you see yourself in this business? What goal do you want to attain? And keeping it, yes, 90-day vision is great, but small goals are also very important. So your first goal is you're launching right now, you're into the first month. I always say, write your goal down and then attack it from that perspective. You guys have this incredible opportunity. We're going to share with you in a few minutes here what that opportunity is going to be as far as the product portion of it, but also you have an opportunity to take advantage of what the company's offering, right? With that rank up bonus, to be able to do a double rank, a triple rank, whatever, that you want to do to earn that bonus money that they're giving you, which is pretty substantial. So really just attacking it with that vision of keeping your head down to the grind and doing the things that you need to do every single day, whether it be 1 hour goal that you set, a 5 hour goal that you set, it's whatever goal is you set, to be consistent and persistent. Very, very important to have just that goal every single day in front of you. And if you need to write that, I think it's real important to envision, to see it, right? So you think it, you see it, and you act on it, right? So I would put up, I am whatever it is that you want to be in rank. There's nothing wrong with that, or how much money you're making. The I ams are very, very important to say those and see them all the time. Whenever I set a goal that I'm going to attain, that I want to attain, I really write it down and I put it on my refrigerator. I put it on my bathroom mirror. I put it in my car. I see it everywhere I go, because that motivates me to keep doing that. So that's, how I would attack it, you guys. You're launching, it's brand new. You have an opportunity to share with so many people. Right now is the time. There is no better time. This is the time for you to get that momentum going. What's really exciting, and I just want to share real quick, is that, when you get into a network marketing company and you see we're not in the creation stage, we're in the formula stage, but it's almost like a hockey stick. When you go into that momentum, it starts to curve. We're literally right at that curve. And you guys are at the point to where we're going to just start going into that momentum. This is where you can change many, many lives, but create a financial future for yourself and so many other people to be very successful. So really, it's setting that goal and being consistent with that goal, staying connected with the people, right? Like right here, right now, the group that you guys are doing, I would say do a Zoom every single night if you can do it. Together, where even if it's just 5 of you, you have to start somewhere and you have to be consistent with that. If there's one person that shows up, one guest, it doesn't matter. That's just one more person that's going to be able to hopefully join you in your business. Now,
And it really is truly how we built. Every single night we would get on a Zoom, and that is it. We sampled out. We had a goal in the beginning, and in the beginning we did, what did we do? 50 samples, like 50 people, not samples.
We're doing 50 people, 50 samples. So if you want to take that challenge, so set a challenge for yourself, maybe within the.
I've set a challenge in our Facebook page, guys, and it's for that. It's 50.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Because it's getting it into the people's hands. But I want to, the green in me wants to let you know, you have to be organized from the beginning, so that you're easily able to follow up with people. You have a system in place, right? Like you set it out, you sent out the sample, you connected with them. A day or two later, you follow up to make sure that they took the sample, right? Like you have to be consistent with follow up, because what good is it handing out samples if you're not following up with, with people? I have somebody on my team. I saw him in a Ray Higdon social media group. He's like, I'm talking to about 1,000 people. I'm like, how are you following up with 1,000 people? That is insane. That's insanity. So you want to be organized where you're able to follow up with them. You have to sample out. You have to.
Right. And then in a good way you can do that, a couple ways, is I do it. The easy way for me is a notebook. Literally have a notebook where one page is that person. So if I have Bianca on that page, I'm going to have Bianca, when I sampled her, when I followed up on her, and how the results are. If she wanted me to get back to her on next week, I'm going to put her on my calendar to get her back to her next week. Because when your business starts growing, you'll find that if you are not organized, and let me tell you, I'm a blue. I mean, I like to be clean and all that, but I'm not all about that. But that's how push myself into being that green, is to keep track of it. Because when your business gets so big, you are not going to be able to handle it. And
then people start to fall through the cracks, and you don't want that.
Absolutely. And you don't want to miss. And the other thing that's good about the notebook real quick is that when you have a notebook on somebody and you write things about that person, like, kids and family and birthday and all those things, you'll be amazed that when you send a birthday card or just a message to somebody, to say hello or thank them for their business, you'll be amazed at how many more people that they will send you, because they're going to remember you because you remembered them. So you guys, I know there's so much more we could talk about. I mean, we could probably spend hours and hours and hours talking about that stuff. And so I'm just excited for you guys for what's coming, especially with the promotions that we're going to talk about.
Go ahead.
All right. Woohoo! All right. So starting, let's see, Thursday, which is today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday for you.
Today for you.
Okay, so Friday for you guys.
Yeah.
Can you look in the back office while we're talking about it and see if it's available yet? It's supposed to have hit at 9 a.m. Oh, no, it's not up yet. So at 9 a.m., which is in
An hour.
that's Central Time. So what time is it now? I don't
It's
know.
8:30 hour time.
Couple of hours.
Okay, so in a couple hours in your back office, you will be able to go in. And what the company is doing is you're going to get a buy two, get four. That's how we want to word it, because remember, we're still NFR, right? Not for resale. So it's not buy two, get two free. It's buy two, get four. So you'll be able to buy like 2 tubs of coffee. You're going to get 2 cups. You're going to get 4 tubs when you buy 2. So that's really going to help you with the shipping portion of it as well. You'll be able to get more products in to sample out to people.
That's not mix and match though, guys, just so you know.
Yeah,
If
not
you buy
mix and
2
match.
tubs, you get 4 tubs. If
Yeah.
you buy 2 boxes of sticks, you get 4 boxes of sticks.
Yeah. So that's the promotion that is starting today. So take advantage of that, especially if you're going to sample out. And you guys, here's the thing. You got the stick packs. That's great. But there is nothing wrong with buying your tub of coffee and doing what we did in the beginning. It worked. If that's what you got to do to get the samples out, do it. It doesn't matter how you get it out to them, but take advantage of that, because that's going to be an opportunity for you to be able to grow your business. And of course, the affordability of it. And I don't know any company that's ever done a buy 2, get 4. I've never seen it in any company. That's what the company's doing for you guys. It's not for us. It's for the Australians.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that if you're promoting, you want to make sure that you're promoting it that way. Buy 2, get 4, not buy 2, get 2 free. Do not say anything about free.
Yeah, that's very important for you to word it that way. So you guys, that starts today. Take advantage. It runs through the end of the month. So here's an opportunity again for you to launch your business, to launch another great way for you for the buy 2, get 4. You know, if you have somebody that you can put on a 30-day trial, that's even better. You can make a little bit of money over there. And then the second promo, which I'm so excited, drum roll, next week, Thursday, again, 9 a.m. That would be our time. So that's Friday night, your time. You are going to have the ability to purchase what we call the enrollment pack. So you guys are going to have enrollment packs.
That's awesome.
Guys, I want you to keep in mind as you're building this business. First of all, the enrollment packs are going to be like, if it's a $500 pack, they're giving you guys more than we've had, right?
Yes.
So we don't even know exactly what's in it, but it's a lot more than we have to make it more appealing to you guys, so you could blow this out of the water, right?
Yeah. And so
that's the first thing I'm going to mention.
Yeah, and there's a lot of value, because we know that the dollar to Australian buck is, it's expensive. I'm not going to say it's not, So this is a way for you guys to take advantage of really launching your business. And so I'm excited that you're getting packs.
But what's more exciting is the fact that the value of the packs helps you to rank, guys. Yes. So the volume
you get the same amount of points.
Yes.
Like if it's a 500 pack, do you get 500 points?
Yes.
You have to count it towards your rank up.
Wow.
Bonus. So your personal kit that you purchase counts towards your personal volume for rank. That's a huge deal.
That could be 250 or 500 towards your rank. That's a nice bump for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And that, just so you guys know, that's only within the first 30 days, always, right? It's always within the first 30 days.
Yeah, first 30 days. But if you sign up, like say you sign up this month, you have till the following month to purchase that pack. So you don't have it's not that month. It's so if you sign up on the 15th of April, you have until the end of May to purchase that pack. Mm-hmm. So it could be more than 30 days.
Yep. Yeah.
Will we have 30 days from next week, or we have 30 days from when we signed up?
No,
No,
you
no,
have
no.
30 days from next week.
From next week.
Yeah, okay, cool. Awesome. And with the buy two get four, that's for customers as well, right?
Yeah, I believe
Or
so.
is it just
Right, Drew?
Yeah, it's for everybody. Yeah, it's for all.
so if we send them the link to our customer website, that would be on there?
Yeah.
Or is it more for us to order in our back office?
No, it's for customers.
No, that's a customer.
Okay, awesome. That's really good. Yeah, because I guess if they've got a partner, they can both do it for a month, like,
Yeah.
but essentially one's free.
Now,
Yeah.
guys, I want you to set the vision, right? If you already have, and I know a lot of you do, you already have people underneath you. If everybody is buying a pack, your rank ups are going to be crazy, right? When we post the rank ups, people see that and they're like, oh my God, like they're ranking up already. They just launched this business. How that attracts more people. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of components to this. In addition to the commission bonus, right? And in addition to the commissions and everything else, there's a lot of visibility with this. One thing I do want to mention, and I always tell my team starting this, and this is just about getting started. It has nothing to do with the bonuses or the enrollment packs, but I don't push people to sell it if they're not actually interested in selling, right? I won't ever sign somebody up to get a discount, ever. It's not worth it for me. It's not worth it for my team. It's not worth it for the people, right? The difference in 10% for them is not going to make or break somebody. So if somebody is like, I would never say, oh, just join us because because you could get, it's later on, the opportunity will still be here. If they're not interested in doing it as a business, I never ever push it. They want to be a customer, let them be a customer. Yeah. And then that'll help you also weed out the people who really want to run, right? You never want to be like, well, they could do this eventually. Nah, I don't mess with that because they're not doing it now. You want to run with the people who want to run.
Yep, for sure.
Amazing. This is so exciting.
These packs are going to be huge for you. I mean,
like
huge.
Yeah, especially when you're getting somebody started, to have that, to be able to have a kit, for them to get started when they're really wanting to do the business and run with it. So I can't wait to see what's going to be in that kit for you guys and the value that it's going to bring. But, really, again, look, you guys take a peek at the screen, because I know that pretty soon we're going to have to page through all. Yeah. We're gonna have to page through to see who's all on here, and the opportunity right now for you guys is to you're the pioneers. So congratulations.
Amazing. I promise you it's going to be life-changing. I promise. It is. Just stay the course, be engaged with us. And because that's really what it's about, as far as being consistent and your DMOs. I noticed that the people who don't have success, the people who aren't engaged, they're the people who don't get on the calls, and they're the people who think that they could do it on their own. You don't have to do it on your own. You have a team of people. You know what I mean? You have all of us to help
Before I forget, if I don't say this now, I'm going to forget, you guys. We are launching a Australian Opportunity Zoom. Yay! And guess what? Guess who's starting it? Nothing but my Sparky Mark. You haven't met him yet. I can't wait for you guys to meet Mark, but he is launching it. It will be on Saturday, your Saturday, Australian, at so it is going to be at 1 p.m. I know it's all different times. We'll be putting up a flyer on it. We are starting this Saturday. Is going to be your first opportunity.
So tomorrow, right?
So it'll be their Saturday. So wait,
2 days. 2 days.
2 days. Yeah, 2 days. Yeah, because it's Thursday for them right now. Yeah. So it's
night.
Saturday afternoon. So we're going to do them every single Saturday.
Amazing.
Okay.
So they're the ones we get people onto. So people like, if we've got interested customers, potentials, we get them onto that. That's so good.
You want to load them up, but guys, you guys get on too, because you're going to hear different stories all the time. And when I tell you, share other people's stories, you're going to hear stories from other people that you could share. Obviously, you tell people, this is not my story. This is what happened for somebody. This is what happened for somebody else. But you're going to get to hear different stories. So it's important for you guys to get on too. This way you hear how people are talking about it, right?
Yeah. And you're going to learn too about the opportunity Zooms, because you'll eventually, you'll be
beyond them.
Own. Yeah, and you'll be doing your own as well. So, but we're excited to get it kicked off. We're excited to get it started. And so we're committed to doing that. And then we'll see how that goes. And if, we want to do more, we'll do more. But for now, that's when we're starting.
And guys, it's nothing formal. Like if you're in this, if it's a Saturday at 1, if you're in the park with your kids, or you're in, you're at the supermarket, throw in earbuds and just listen in. Like you don't, it's not like you have to engage or participate on the call. Just listen in, listen to what everybody has to say.
Yeah. And here's the important thing that I like to say about that is when you show up, right, you go up. And it's also important is to really have support. Like we're all supporting one another, because there's nothing worse than, if Bianca had a guest on and let's just say she had some important thing that happened, just knowing that she had some of her team to support her on that. It's really important for all of us to help one another. Hey, I know life gets in the way and you have things, I'm not saying you have to change that to be on it, but if you can be on it and support one another. And when you see more people on a Zoom, guess what? They feel like, oh my God, I better join this company because there's a lot of people getting involved. What's going on here, right? Excitement. It creates more excitement. So I'm just excited for you guys. Thank you for staying on so long.
Guys, thank you so much. And honestly, guys, don't reinvent the wheel, as Maria and Judy said. Like I've been stealing Maria's posts. They've been getting the best traction ever. Like I'm just like, well, if Maria posted it, it must be good. Copy, paste, boom. So many customers out of it. So that's what they're there for. They've done it. You know what I mean? So like, don't be like, oh, what am I going to post? Just if it works for them, it's going to work for you. It's a different
and you'll see all of our posts, guys. We never put links up ever. We never ever put full product information. So like if I'm showing like the new coffee and I'm so excited about it, you'll usually see this so that they can't see exactly what it is. Or the Xantho, I'll cover it. Or even in if I'm doing a display of it, it's grayed out, you know what I mean, blurred, so that people don't see. You want to do curiosity posts, you want to do attraction marketing. Like for you guys who haven't gotten your stuff yet, my post 100% would be a picture of like a coffee cup, and I would like the message would be, this is the last day I'm going to have, bland coffee that doesn't have any kind of benefits. Can't wait for, my coffee to get here. Or my coffee makes me happy. Does yours? Or cannot wait for the post office guy to come, have big things happen. You want to create excitement through your post. You want to create curiosity through your post, right?
This is their first challenge, Maria. This is their first challenge when their products come in the post. Some already have. I've taken photos. I just haven't posted yet. Take a photo of them in your box. Take a photo of your kids holding it or you guys in a happy smiley, and do a post. Put it on your My Story. Put it on your Facebook page. And that's your challenge to do that. Okay, and we're all going to do it, but we're all going to do it differently, and wait for the comments, and then we'll go from there. Then we'll talk about how do we respond. Love everyone's comment, respond to it, finish with a question, create the conversation. But we're all going to do this together, and I like setting challenges because I'm competitive AF, and competition is good because it pushes us, you know what I mean, and we're all going to keep each other accountable. So that's a start. And Maria, like if you could post the that event little flyer in our team group, I'll add it to our events in our new kind of page thing, and we'll just we'll get it cranking. But like, thank you so much, ladies. We are so grateful to have you both on with us in the morning and to spend so much time with us and all the notes we've got from it.
We're very excited to get you guys going. We're very excited of what your future is going to hold, because like I said, it's empowering to us. It's to me, it's like self-gratification watching other people succeed, and especially knowing that you're a part of it. So go out there and share it with people, guys. Like, change lives. That's what this is all about. It really is about, yes, you're going to make money. I promise you. If you work it, you will make money. But I promise you that the knowing that you're changing lives is going to far surpass any kind of financial gain you're going to get.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And again, we really appreciate it. And we'll get this recording to anyone that's missed it. That would be awesome too. And you guys enjoy your day. We're going to go to sleep
Night,
and
night.
start it off tomorrow. But thank you again so much, guys. If you want to all say thanks, just pop yourself off mute and you know, say hi, bye, and we love you, and we'll see you Saturday.
If you need anything, you know where we are. Do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help.
Absolutely. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.